Welcome to Shared Virtual Machines Part 1. I'm going to do this video in two parts to make sure that I don't run it too long or try to get too much in here and leave something out. So first of all, let's talk about this idea of shared virtual machines. Now in a separate video I talked about the workstation server service that's running out there that makes this happen. And so to be able to use this and to make a virtual machine available to someone else who on workstation on another machine can connect to my workstation machine, my host, and use my virtual machines, how do we pull this off? Well, what we want to do is share a virtual machine, and this makes it available via that workstation server service to remote clients. Now there are three options for creating a shared virtual machine. I can create a new shared virtual machine. I can convert a standard virtual machine to a shared virtual machine. This is the way it usually happens. Or I can create a shared clone of a standard virtual machine. And I will demonstrate a little bit of this in part 2 of this video. Now to convert a standard virtual machine to a shared virtual machine, there are two ways that we can go here. First of all, I can select the virtual machine and then choose the VM edit option and then choose manage and then choose share. Now I'm just going to talk through this now. I'll demonstrate this in part 2. Then I can also just drag the virtual machine down to the shared virtual machines location in the library in Workstation, and that will take care of that. And either way I'm going to get prompted and it's going to ask me to choose to move the virtual machine and how to go about doing that, or to create a shared clone of a standard virtual machine. So I can either just move one down there and it moves the files, or I can tell it to create a clone and put it down there. Very same procedure as above. Select it or drag it down and then the magic happens. And then when I'm prompted here, I'll just choose to make a full clone of the virtual machine. Now, once I've shared a virtual machine and I decide I don't want to share it anymore, how complicated is it to undo this? Do I have to go hack the registry or anything? No. This is how hard it is. Go to the VM menu item, choose Manage, and then choose Stop Sharing. And you can also just drag the virtual machine from the Shared Virtual Machines folder, drop it on my computer inside the little library in Workstation, and that will basically remove that machine from being shared. And I can enter or browse the new location for the VM. What it's going to do is say, you know what, I need to move all your disk files, because when we're sharing these machines, we're actually moving the disk files into the shared folder, into a shared folder out there. You'll see it a little bit later. And so this is saying, where do you want to put these? And normally it will prompt you to put them back where you originally got them, and everything's cool. Now, virtual machines can also be created on remote hosts. This is similar to creating on the local host. However, easy install for the operating systems is not supported if you do a remote install like that, and you have to do the manual OS installation. So you'll have to create your machine, then go back and do your manual installation in that machine. So shared virtual machines are, for the most part, identical to normal virtual machines. There's just a couple little nuances here, but they're really neat things. You need to see them. You need to play with them. You need to see if they're right for you and the way your organization is doing business. Okay, so what I want to do here is stop this video right here, and in part 2 we'll jump out into the interface and I'll show you how to set up and convert a virtual machine that's already there into a shared virtual machine.